this. You better listen, sisters and brothers, 'cause if you do, you can hear there are voices calling out across the years, and they're all crying across the ocean, crying across the land, and they will till we all come to understand that none of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us are chained, none of us are free. There are people still in darkness, and they just can't see the light. If you don't say that it's wrong, well, that says that it's right. We got to look out for one another. Let our brothers know that we care. We've got to get the message, send it out loud and clear. Yeah, none of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us are chained, none of us are free. Well, I swear that your salvation isn't too hard to find, but none of us can find it on our own. Yeah, we've got to join together in spirit, heart, and mind, so every soul that's suffering will know that they're not alone. None of us are free. Oh Lord, hey, 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 yeah. Now if you just take a look around you, you're gonna see what I say, 'cause the world is getting smaller each and every passing day. It's time we start to make some changes. Time for us to realize that the truth is shining right before our eyes. Yeah, none of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us are chained, none of us are free. Yeah, none of us are free. None of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us are chained, none of us are free. 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 If one of us are chained, none of us are free. 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 If one of us are chained, none of us are free. None of us are free. If one of us is chained, none of us are free.
Hey everybody, welcome to Moon at Noon. Special guest today, Mr. Joel Parisian, Soul Joel himself.
Nice to be here. Nice
we
to
are
be
the
here,
commissionaires, the two of us, and we're sometimes joined when we can get them by amazing musicians on bass and drums and backup vocals. But we it's kind of like, you know, remember Steely Dan, like Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. They were always, rest his soul.
Rest his soul.
We're always the guys, you know what I mean? It kind of spearheaded every project, and they brought in different talented musicians This is kind of our thing. This is what we started about a year and a half ago, or a couple years ago now, actually. That it's coming up to the 2-year anniversary of us conceiving of this project. So, and that was a song from Shelter Me, which we released back in 2016, late 2016,
right around Christmas time.
Right around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd play that one today for you. We're going to play a few other things for you today that are some new things and they're going to be included on the next Commissionaires album, which is going to start recording in a couple of weeks. I'm excited about that. So getting back into the studio, back in the saddle. We just booked the dates. We didn't really have everything ready. We just like, let's book it and we'll figure it out. Right? Is that kind of how you work?
Well, I think that all musicians should work that way.
Yeah.
I think sometimes having a date, a deadline is really good for pulling your plan together.
Yeah.
I think artistic people can probably relate to what I'm talking about. If you have a sort of nebulous goal in mind or schedule ahead of you that's sort of go with the flowy, sometimes that flow can just get ahead of you, a little too far ahead of you.
Absolutely.
So sometimes establishing a little bit of boundaries and a plan is good for focusing artistic endeavors and getting them, on track. Otherwise, we can just keep talking and talking and talking about doing things and being creative, and you don't end up pulling the plug on things.
Well, totally, Someone's pointing out that the camera is currently face tracking us. So we're going to see if we can just change
these little
that.
things?
Yeah, see, these little things are actually showing up. So,
good to know.
I'm not a huge camera guy. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I'm just going to see if I can change this so
the
that
settings.
It's not doing that.
So that we don't have squares on our face?
That'd be ideal.
I think you got it.
Turned it to manual mode. It might be a little soft in the focus department, but that's pretty close.
That's
Not
close
bad.
enough.
Thank you for catching that. Who was that who caught that? Matt Cameron, all the way out in Lethbridge. Thanks, man, for hipping us to that technical issue. Glad that you can all hear us. Glad you can all see us. And Al Clarkson is checking in from Scarberia. And Brenda Ashton, thank you so much for tuning in. Kate Giron. And she's loving the keyboard edition today.
Oh, okay.
So that's her primary instrument, and she wants to do more playing of that. So that's great. Yeah. Well, why don't we launch into another tune here? We're gonna do a song that we're gonna feature on the next record, and this is a song that I wrote when I was traveling out in Saskatchewan, and I didn't end up calling it Saskatchewan because
that doesn't have a good ring to
doesn't
it.
really, for some reason, roll off the tongue the way you might hope. So I called it Tennessee, and here it is. It goes
Tennessee
like
of
this.
Canada.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cosmic megaphone. Now I'm looking for a friend on whom I can depend, 'cause the highway never ends, and the road has got the best of me. I thought I could be free, like the winds in Tennessee. I've been going off like a pistol, faster than a whistle. No nobody's having any fun. Run till you run out, burn it up until you burn out. Are you entertained or is anyone? Now I'm looking for a friend on whom I can depend, 'cause the highway never ends, and the road has got the best of me. I thought I could be free, like the winds in Tennessee. All right. Recognize your life, turn around. Have you compromised who you are? Would you even know? Your life is just a movie in your head. It should be you instead, walking off into that great sunset. I'm looking for a friend on whom I can depend, 'cause the highway never ends. The road has got the best of me. I thought I could be free, like the winds in Tennessee. Like the winds in Tennessee. Like the winds in Tennessee. Like the winds in Tennessee.
All right. So that's the song called Tennessee, and as you can kind of hear, I'm a little bit under the weather. I was going to cancel today too, but I thought, you know what? Joel here is such a great singer. He can carry most of it.
I'll be your wingman.
Exactly. He's my wingman today.
I'll be your wingman,
I couldn't
brother.
really, I can't sing all the songs today, but I thought I'll eke out that one for you guys just to give you a little taste of that. And kind of when we record it, our hope is to kind of get some other cool sounds in there and to really try to recreate the sound of the plains of Western Canada in audio form, you know. Big wide open space and just kind of a nice slow kind of wide open groove, and so I'm really excited about bringing the band in on this one, and even bringing in some cello, you know, some other kind of instruments, to kind of just give it a bit of that cinematic feel.
Well, and I think it's good timing too right now, because Western Canada has really come into focus across the whole country with that tragedy of the Humboldt Broncos. I mean, losing all those young lives, but to see how much Canadians have come together and to really realize how much hockey, even if you're not a big sports fan, I mean, hockey is so interwoven into our identity as Canadians, and to see us all kind of come together as a nation and
Yeah.
grieving together. It's beautiful to see, to be reminded that we really are one giant small town as Canadians. I mean, we really are,
For sure.
and to see and how much money has been raised for all of these families that are going to be
45
really
minutes.
gonna
They
need.
got to raise millions of dollars for these families. Today, my kids are at school and they're they're all wearing jerseys. It's Jersey Day at school today, so everybody's kind of wearing the jerseys. So that's my kids are both kind of into hockey. So when they heard about that tragedy, it's definitely got their attention, and to think of other young people, So our hearts go out to those folks today. The whole country's behind you. Hopefully you feel that, and what do you think we should play next, Joel? Maybe we should just check in and make sure everything's copacetic out there.
With our armchair producers.
Yes, exactly. We have no director, folks.
Yeah.
If you think to leave a tip for us today, we're saving up for a director, so that would be amazing.
And you're providing a very valuable service. I wasn't being sarcastic.
No, well, exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
When you're independent artists that are also self-produced, it means that you have to learn how to be more than just songwriters and performers. We are videographers and editors. We are, curators, artisans, directors, executive producers, fundraisers, and the list goes on and on. But we're also able to do this at noon, and we're not, at an office job wishing we could be singing songs from our hearts. So
yeah, exactly.
We're certainly not whining. These are first world problems.
Totally. Okay, now what do you think we should play? Maybe we'll play a little bit of, so far it looks like things are going all right. Why don't we do a little bit of Water is Wide?
Yeah, let's do it. That's fun. Yeah, well, this song is a I like to grab songs from the public domain sphere of things, because then you don't pay publishing royalties, because the author is long dead and has been for over 50 years.
Well, exactly,
that's how that goes.
That's right.
So there's this pool of songs I like to mine from that are traditional songs, whether they're gospel songs or they're old folk songs, and then put a fresh spin on them. And this one, there's a bit of a debate whether I think from what I've researched that it's actually an old Scottish folk song, but there are people who are convinced that is an Irish folk song. So it's definitely from that part of the world, let's just say. It's a song called The Water's Wide, and I like this metaphor about build me a boat that can carry two, that I sort of see as a metaphor for a relationship. Yeah. Build us something that we can get over. The water's wide, and sometimes it's hard to cross over this gulf of man and woman coming together as one and making that work. Yeah. So yeah, the original is quite, Celtic and folky, and we're not going to do it in that way either, because I know I'm not that guy.
I mean, yeah. I can play a pretty mean uilleann pipe.
Yes, I left my bodhran
exactly.
at home. No, we got to do it in a way that I can actually get behind. So, and the cool thing about Jacob's box of tricks here that are always at his feet is that we did a little bit of pre-production before today. Put a few, ready-made grooves in the absence of a rhythm section.
Yeah,
it's like we might as well tap into the rhythm machine. Consult the rhythm machine for a little bit of assistance with this one.
All right, let's see if we can set that up.
Yeah. And well, the water's wide, I can't cross over, neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and both shall roll, my love and I. Well, the water's wide, I can't cross over, and neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and both shall roll, my love and I. Now there's a ship, it sails the sea, it's loaded deep can be, but not as deep as the love I'm in. I know not how I sink or swim. Go ahead, brother. Now love is handsome, love is fine, the sweetest flower when first it's new. But love grows old and waxes cold and disappears just like morning dew. Yeah, the water's wide, I can't cross over, neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and both shall roll, my love and I. Water's wide, I can't cross over, neither have I wings to fly. Build me a boat that can carry two, and both shall roll, my love and I. 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 And both shall roll, my love and I.
Beautiful. That's such a nice take on that old song. Love that, man.
Which goes a lot more like, well, the water is wide,
whatever the key is,
and
exactly.
I can cross over.
Yeah. It's very much a plaintive kind of pastoral number normally, but but first,
Yes.
you know, Joel, he's soul Joel.
I gotta
He's
make it
do
my
in a
own.
soul
I gotta
way,
make it my
soulful
own.
way.
This is,
You gotta be you,
there's,
man. That's what
there's
I'm
some hurt in those lyrics. I'm kind of like,
That's
man,
it. Yeah.
that's pretty sort of, lute accompaniment. That ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
No,
It's funny. I mean, it's the hurt. You know, it's people have different ways of expressing that in music.
That's true.
You know what I mean? That's
very
interesting.
true.
In the Celtic world, you know, sometimes that very stiff upper lip, keep calm and carry on kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much so.
You know that there's something lurking beneath the subtext of that lyric that even though it's delivered in a very pulled together way. Sometimes that's the heartbreaking thing about it. You know what I mean? Somebody said once, if you cry when you're singing, then everybody else stops crying.
huh?
It's interesting.
Okay.
You kind of,
right.
If you sing in a way that is, you kind of bravely power through the song, people they can feel their emotions. But if they have to deal with your emotions on stage, then they can't. They can't even hear their own
I never
emotions.
thought about that.
Interesting, eh?
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, that's part of what we do as troubadours, as songwriters, is we try to process everybody's pain, not just ours.
Yeah.
And not to say that all the best songs are about heartbreak, although most of them are.
Yeah.
There's such catharsis that happens when you write lyrics. I mean, when you can kind of put it down on paper and articulate it, all of a sudden you take control of it. You own it.
Yeah.
And you kind of see it laid bare in front of you. You're able to let it go.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the service that we provide for people as well when we write songs that are coming from a place of real hurt or struggle, heartbreak, is that we're processing those emotions for everybody else. And there's a kind of a sense of community that's built between artist and listener.
Yeah.
When somebody can say, man, you are singing my pain right now.
Yeah.
You're actually perfectly articulating how I feel right now. And that's the perfect way to dissolve those negative feelings.
Well,
Does
that's
it feel connected to somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great segue to the next song, because you wrote a great song that is, well, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, I wrote a song, I mean, without getting too biographical about it. Do you have to worry about resetting your camera?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll just do that quickly. Just make sure we don't run out of time.
Once again, folks, this is a self-produced here. Oh.
Yeah. And we're back.
And we're back, folks. Yeah,
right.
Take two. Went through a difficult season when my marriage dissolved, and wrote a lot of songs that nobody will really ever hear. It's almost like I wrote them for myself. And it's good to be in a place, you know, over 3 years later, good to be in a place of just being amicable with my ex, that we still talk regularly, that we still wish each other well, that our split didn't get nasty, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I think we both handled it with grace and patience and in a loving kind of way, even though it's definitely a decision that we both stand behind. And so, and it happened also too at a time in my life where a lot of marriages were ending just for whatever reason. It was a season where they're just like the sickle was just being swung through everybody's relationships, and so really, really close friends of mine were going through the same thing at the same time. And those of you that are onto your second marriages, the ones that they always say, the one that you got right, God bless you, good for you. But there are a lot of people that can relate to what I'm talking about. And so I wanted to kind of pool all of these individual stories, not of just my own, but of my friends as well, and to write a song that was kind of a meta song for what we were all going through that way, to seeing the end of our marriage and kind of processing that. And so, and a song about just losing trust in a relationship and not being able to come to this middle point, not being able to see the shades of gray that are required to kind of compromise in a relationship. When you see things in a really black and white way, everything's a fight. And so to process that, but I guess I just feel like this is a long disclaimer to say that I'm not necessarily feeling these emotions as heavily as I was at the time. So it's a lot easier to sing this song now, to be at a place where I feel really happy about where I am in my life, but retrospectively kind of articulating how it felt at the time. And hopefully some people can kind of relate to what I'm talking about, and that I'm providing a bit of a, you know, once again, that service that we provide as songwriters to help process these emotions.
Yeah, man. It's important. It's important. I've been through it. I've sung about it. I've written about it. If you followed me for any length of time, you know that's been my story too. And so part of how we process is we sing about it. We turn that pain into art, and I think that's a redemptive thing. When you at the end of it, you don't just have heartbreak, but you have
closure,
a song about it.
Yeah,
Maybe working through it in some way, and that's how we work through it. So
absolutely.
We may not talk about it and the length that we might, that other people might, to counselors, but we will write a song about it, and through that we'll kind of decide how we feel about it. And maybe we'll look back on a song and our feelings will change about it, but ultimately it will have served that purpose of getting that feeling immortalized in a song. And this is a great, man, I love this song. It's such a beautiful, beautiful song, man. And so let's try this one here today.
Yeah.
Debut on Moon at Noon.
Yeah.
New from Joel Parisian. Check it out.
Black and white, that's all you see. You're trying to manage this broken heart and smooth over misery, but you can't steamroll me, baby. I won't lie down flat. There's gravel in the road, and it's always gonna be like that. Take a swing, don't you ever miss. You've had fistfuls of my hair since the first time we kissed. I won't roll over, baby, but I won't put up a fight. Just get out of my head, I wanna sleep alone tonight. Black and white, you couldn't stay. Never mind who's wrong or right, we didn't find the middle way. But I guess you taught me how to let go of a friend. And though my heart will mend, it's never gonna be quite the same, same again. It's never gonna be quite the same, same again. Took your time, dragged it out. We wasted one more year while you drank away your doubt. And when it's all over, baby, will you have your regrets? Well, my chips are cashed in, I ain't gonna place no bets. Black and white, you couldn't stay. Never mind who's wrong or right, we just didn't find the middle way. But I guess you taught me how to let go of a friend. And though my heart will mend, it's never gonna be quite the same, same again. Black and white, no, you couldn't stay. Never mind who's wrong or right, we didn't find the middle way. But I guess you taught me how to let go of a friend. And though my heart will mend, it's never gonna be quite the same, same again. It's never gonna be quite the same, same again.
Yeah, beautiful song.
Yeah.
That's called Black and White, and that's going to be on the next Commissionaires album. So check out the crowdfunding campaign that's going to be coming up in the next week or so. We'll kind of have more details that'll put together what that project's looking like. But right now, it looks like about 6 songs, an EP, just something to capture the inspiration that we've had over the last little while. Get it out there while it's fresh, not wait for full 12 songs before bothering to make an album, but to actually kind of release it in 2 parts. So kind of an EP now and then an EP later, potentially sometime in the fall. If we can kind of keep those creative juices flowing, we can kind of keep writing and create more original stuff for you guys, which bears the thumbprint of, you know, my solo work and Joel's solo work, but then together his influence on me as a producer, as a writer, as a player is evident in the recordings that are going to come out of my music, and I think a little bit of back and forth as well. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so that's and the players we play with too. They always kind of add their own little stamp to things. And
you know, funny aside, somebody asked me a few months ago. They said, "What does EP mean?" It's just a word that we use. I mean, yeah. So of course, what it was, it came from singles being released in the days of vinyl on full 12-inch pieces of wax. Yeah. So, of course, everybody's familiar with 45s, which is funny, they're called 45s because they're played at 45 rotations per minute.
Yeah.
But the old 7-inch 45s had a song, an A side and a B side, right? Yeah. And what happened was there was a demand for singles to be released on big full-size pieces of wax. But what were you going to do with all the space? Right. So you'd release the single, you'd release another track, but you got so much more space on a large 12-inch piece of vinyl that you need to fill it up with more than 2 songs. So EP stands for extended play single, because of that format, I mean, now, of course, we've moved into the digital era where people are barely releasing physical media at all, and certainly very rarely on records. But that word EP is sort of endured as this kind of mini record.
Yeah.
It became a kind of art form in and of itself, so that somebody would release a single and go, well, I've got more than just an A-side and B-side. Like, I got a couple other thoughts that should come out at the same time that maybe are sketches that don't deserve to be in a full album. And so the EP was born, and it was born because of singles being released on 12-inch pieces of vinyl.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of history lesson
Yeah.
for Joel Parisian for you right there. And good luck, finding a lot of these EPs, but maybe they do exist.
Well, I don't think not a lot. I mean, of course, everybody knows that vinyl has made a resurgence, but what's happening is people are releasing full albums on vinyl.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Sunrise Records just kind of relaunched very recently in the last year. And you go in there, it's like being in an old school record shop.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the EPs aren't really getting pressed on because it's expensive. It's expensive to manufacture. Exactly. And so it's hard to find EPs that, like I say, are works of art in of themselves that only have anywhere from 4 to 6 songs. It's difficult to find those. So
Now, did you see this, changing subject, did you see this in the news this week that Lindsey Buckingham was fired from Fleetwood Mac? I'm a big Fleetwood Mac fan and a big Lindsey Buckingham fan. So they fired. You don't know this is news to you.
I had no idea.
So there's maybe breaking news for some of you out there as well. But if you're a fan of that band, you know that people have come and they've gone, and that's happened. That's pretty natural and normal. But they're planning on a tour for the fall, and they just received a big MusiCares award for their lifetime of work. They were all there. They were all celebrating. They all seemed to be getting along. Then we get this news that Lindsey's out, and in his place is Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Wow, okay.
Who doesn't sing, so now who sings? Well, they had to get 2 people, it turns out, to replace one man. They got Neil Finn from Crowded House to replace.
Who's probably a huge Fleetwood Mac fan.
He's
probably going like,
he's probably. I mean, he lives in L.A. He probably bumps into those guys a lot. That's my sense. But it occurred to me that I can sing along with Neil Finn songs, but I can't really sing along with a lot of Lindsey Buckingham songs, which are like uber high. He's got this really kind of high tempo. So I don't know what they're going to do. I guess they're going to have to change all the keys, but some of them are kind of like, they're
so uniquely him.
So uniquely in those guitar, cowboy chord keys too, D and G and stuff like that for songs like Secondhand News and and Go Your Own Way and stuff like that. Maybe he doesn't even sing them in the original keys anymore. I don't know. But
do we know why he's been fired, or are they being pretty cagey about that?
He's a prickly dude.
Okay,
so he doesn't get along with a lot of people. He doesn't play well with others.
Fair enough.
And something must have broken the camel's back, and that was that. So, yeah. Do you know any Crowded House songs?
No. I mean,
do you remember that one that they had on the radio back in the day? It was like.
Do you know it?
Yeah. It was like.
Something deep inside, something's got a hold on you. It's pushing me aside, see it stretch on forever. And I know I'm right for the first time in my life. That's why I tell you, you better be home soon.
Yeah.
Stripping back the coats, the lies and deception. Back to nothing else, like the week in the desert. And I know I'm right for the first time in my life. And that's why I tell you, you better be home soon.
Watch out.
Don't say no, don't say nothing's wrong. I'll be gone. Ooh, ooh.
that's just it. You can't just grab a Crowded House. Oh, I gotta,
It's, yeah, right.
They've always got
I'm
such
like, I'm
really
just
great
spring a
passing
Crowded House.
chords.
I'm
Yeah,
even trying
yeah.
to spring it myself. I haven't played that since I used to play in the bars back in the day. But I just because it was on the radio back then, you know, in the '90s or whatever.
course.
So I was playing in the bars back in the '90s. So I was just kind of pulling that one out. But it just made me think of Neil Finn and what a great voice he has, what great
Yeah.
songs he has. And yeah, I could play a whole night of Crowded House music and be a happy guy.
Tempted by the fruit of another.
That's Squeeze.
I squeezed. Yeah, but wasn't
Yeah,
didn't the
what are their songs? Their big hits would be Something So Strong.
Oh,
Remember
that
one?
was it. Okay, so there's no Finn brothers in that band?
No, there's no
Really?
Finn Brothers. No, that's
Holy
it.
smokes.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
there you go.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So anyways, people tuning in, people checking it out. If you want to see more music, please come out on the 27th to the Rock on Lock. We will have the whole band there. Chantel Williams will be joining us on vocals. We will have Monster Donuts at the merch table.
Oh, wow.
For those of you who want to buy a CD, you get a Monster Donut while they last. So you got to get up to that table fast and relieve us of our CDs and our donuts.
This is because this is our first Commissionaires concert of 2018.
Yeah, exactly. And it will be. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of them this season. So if you want to get to one of them, there was a time when we were doing them every week, and we were doing them at the Gasworks. And so yeah, it's just a different era right now, and we're kind of working on making the next thing. So if you want to be at that one, let us know and buy the tickets in advance, because then we know that we're doing okay. Because right now, I mean, ticket sales, we could just use a little bit of help from those of you who are champions of the band to just get it up into that range where we're a little less nervous about the show. 'Cause we're promoting ourselves. We're putting ourselves out there.
Well, we're nervous enough
You
because
know,
we're going to be premiering of some new music too.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we've got work to
It's
do.
exciting. That part's exciting. It's just the
Sure.
nerve-wracking aspect of booking a show and promoting a show is always, it's the bane of my existence. Because I'm a musician. You're a musician.
Yeah.
But we have to wear all these other hats. We have to be promoters and advertisers and web updaters.
And agents and booking art and
agents,
stuff.
all that stuff.
Well, and I'm constantly bumping into people who are saying like, "Oh man, when's the next time you're playing? When's the next time you're playing?" And so I'm happy to let people know. And I mean, all the social media is always active, and we're always on top of letting people know. But live music doesn't happen without continued support.
That's right.
It just doesn't. And so I always tell my friends like, if you've got this idea in the back of your mind, like, oh, maybe I'll miss this one and I'll come to the next one, it's like sometimes that next one doesn't happen.
Yeah.
How it happened to us a few times last year where it was just like, well, we just couldn't quite get enough pre-sale tickets, sold to justify doing the show. And then you got the few people that were really excited about it going like, oh, what do you mean the show's been canceled?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often, thank God it doesn't, but
It's
it
usually
does
about
happen every
timing.
now and again.
It's usually about something. We picked the wrong time.
The
or
wrong
whatever it is.
weekend, the wrong seasonal change
Yeah.
where it's the first weekend of warm weather and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It does
yeah.
happen, and we understand that.
But you know what? Lock Street has so much to offer. You can go out
Yeah,
for dinner
I know.
at so many different places. The Bread Bar.
Matson & Co. is
Matson
really
and Co.
great,
There's lots
yeah.
of great places to take your sweetie out for dinner and then come to the show afterwards. Enjoy some music, enjoy some donuts, have a good time. I think it'll be fun. So,
And also, we take for granted that sometimes we're playing shows that aren't all ages. You know what I mean? Especially me. I've done lots of shows where it's like I get the text or the message online starting going like, so I can come with the whole family? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, of course you can. And,
and you can this one for
And
sure.
a lot of young people don't get to hear live music because a lot of the venues are 19 plus. And
Yes.
It's like,
So if you're a teenager out there, you're watching this, and you're on Facebook somehow magically,
that's funny.
then please, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, let your friends know.
Okay, well, let's play one more tune, and then we're gonna call it a day. And if you have been watching this, enjoying it, leave us a tip on the tip jar. It helps us to keep this going, to keep the gear happening, to save up for that director. And to do special events. I'm looking forward to doing a special event with Rob Brown and Mark McIntyre on May 9th. We're going to do a live Moon at Noon at Rob's place with the trio. So we'll do stuff that I couldn't do otherwise. And you'll get to hear some really cool covers and some originals.
And a great rhythm section.
And a great rhythm section.
Yeah.
With it'll all be mixed and it'll all sound great. It'll all look great. So that's going to be an exciting one to watch for us, May 9th for sure. But let's wrap this one up with maybe a little bit of Weary.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've been a little sick. We're trying to kind of get through some colds here, so maybe you're feeling that same way.
Or
Here's
just
a
that
song
it's just, it's time for spring.
It's time.
So
Oh man,
we're going to dedicate
Is it
this song
ever? Is it
to coming warm weather. We know it's coming. So
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. What key are we doing this in? G. It's a G. All right.
Oh, 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 oh.
There we go.
Weary. I've been weary for the longest time. And living with a worried mind. Can you hear me? I could really use a friend. Weary, and I'm knocking on your door again. Oh, my burden I can't tow. Cannot lay it down. Will you help me let it go and put it in the ground? Put it in the ground. Yeah, yeah, weary. I've been weary for the longest time. And living with a worried mind. Can you hear me? Oh, I could really use a friend. Weary, and I'm knocking on your door again. And I'm knocking on your door again. Oh, you melt my frozen heart, and you fuel my flame. I need a brand new start. I'm calling out your name. I'm calling out your name. Yeah, weary. I've been weary for the longest time. And living with a worried mind. Can you hear me? I could really use a friend. Weary, and I'm knocking on your door again. And I'm knocking on your door again. And I'm knocking on your door again. And I'm knocking on your door. Again. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Soul Joel saves the day. Thank you very much, Joel, for singing in my stead
I got
today.
you back, brother. Yeah.
Literally, I couldn't make a sound yesterday, so the fact that I could sing even a note today, I'm happy with that progress. I got a little more work to do. I'm drinking ginger tea today before my gig on Saturday night. If you're in the Fergus area on Saturday night, come on, support the local pregnancy center there with a concert that's happening at Grace Church in Fergus. And yeah, get your tickets online at jacobmoon.com for that. Anything to plug, Joel, coming up?
April 27th.
April 27, got to be there, guys.
Yeah.
April 22, for those of you in Kitchener, I will be at the Registry Theatre on the 22nd of that month, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, early show. Can still be in bed in time to go to work on Monday morning, so no worries there. Please come, please join us for that. That's a really special theater. We've played there many times as the commissionaires, and I've played there dozens of times over the years since I found
Such
out
a great
about it.
venue.
Such a great
Such a
black box theater, just nice and
Yeah.
intimate, and just it's a sweet spot.
Kitchener, that whole area is really lucky to have a spot like that. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. All right, so till next week, Moon at Noon at Full Health. We will see you. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
Cheers.